Hello all, welcome back to Shave on Peg Leg. Welcome to Sunday's head shave. For a razor today for the head shave, a J1 Tech Gillette with a second use silver blue blade. Haslinger Honey soap. Yes, hard buck. The stuff lathers like a monster and is slick as snot. So that's why I'm using it. Besides, I haven't used it in a while, and I kind of like that stuff. So we're going to give it a use. Hope everybody's doing fine. Had a good weekend. I could have skipped the football game today and watched the last 43 seconds and been fine and gotten the whole gist of the whole game. Using my Omega, I believe it's a 20mm bore. Harder pucks, I like stiffer brushes. Yeah, see, this stuff is a freaking lather monster. It smells like honey. I got it sitting in front of my fan, which I shouldn't do, but let me move the fan a little bit. Because the whole bathroom's filling up, smelling like a freaking beehive. See, I didn't lather that much in the bowl. You saw how long I was in that bowl, getting soap off that puck. And look at this stuff. Using this razor because I don't think I've used it for a head shave yet, so we're going to see how she goes. It's a 1964 Gillette Tech. First quarter, my birth quarter of 64. I have all the razors from first quarter of 64 that were made by Gillette now. I have the flare tip, I have this Tech, and I have the slim adjustable. Okay. Today's date, November 6th, is it? Yeah, November 6th. I believe it was 28 or 29. I believe it's 28. Jacob Schick brought out his first electric razor, which was made possible, the funding to develop it was made possible through the sales of his cartridge injector razor. I believe they were called the magazine injector razor or magazine cartridge razor was the original name, because the loading process of his injector razors was designed off of the magazine of a bolt action rifle, or off a bolt action rifle, how the cartridges were loaded. That's what inspired him to do the original cartridge razors, injectors. And the money he made off of that, he invested into making the Schick electric razor. But that's not what we're going to talk about. We're talking about something that has nothing to do with today's date today. Oh, a little departure. But I thought I'd throw that in because it was kind of shaving related. Oh, just as a little side note, I read a few articles recently that were kind of interesting. Scientists in a research study, more tax dollars at work, have discovered that there is a correlation between Alzheimer's and dementia and nose picking. Well, at least now I know what the hell's wrong with me. Yeah, the more you pick your nose, the more likely you're going to get dementia or Alzheimer's. So, if you have little kids out there, they stick that booger flicker into their snot locker, smack their hand out of there, tell them, you're going to get dementia. You're not digging for lunch or a snack, you're digging for dementia. So, and the other thing I read, now I didn't take notes on this or anything, so just bear with me. All this is just coming off the top of my head from what I read. So, take that with a frickin' grain of salt. Because, you know, dementia and Alzheimer's. It seems there's several towns in the Midwest and out west in Southern California, like, their aquifers are going dry. They're running out of water. And they're having to re-drill their wells to pump water for the town. They're having to go down as far as 450 to 500 feet to hit water. In one Arizona town, inspected their aquifer through their well. They sent a camera down and they looked at the water. And the water is usually still in the well. It's in the aquifer, it's just laying there flat. It's not a river, it's not an underground river, it's the aquifer. It's just like a big lake underground. But the water was flowing, it was moving. And they said that's not normal. What they determined is happening, and this all goes to what's coming up on November 8th, on Tuesday. Because I'm going to say this, I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what side you're on, because I'm not one of these radicals like that. Well, sometimes, but not right now, I'm not. Anyways, vote for who's going to do best for this country. Not for your pocket, not for their pocket. Words have no meaning, and sometimes actions have no meaning. Because there's a lot of times with these politicians, this one's over here dancing to get your attention, and this one's over here taking money and putting it in his pocket so you don't see what's going on. Okay? Because so many foreign countries have bought farmland in the Southwest, Midwest, and out west, Southern California. And a lot of them are from the Middle East. See, Saudi Arabia just recently banned in their country, because they're losing water so much that they can't afford to do it anymore, the growth of hay and alfalfa, which are feed crops for their cattle. They have banned the growth of those two crops in their country. So what the companies are doing is they're coming over here, buying the farmland, growing hay and alfalfa, which are heavy water using crops. They use more water than any other crop to grow. And hence the aquifer in Arizona flowing like a river underground instead of being stagnant, well, not stagnant, but stable and not moving. They're pumping so much water that the regular farmers that grow crops for you and I aren't getting enough water for their crops, and the towns aren't getting enough water to pump for their citizens. And what they're doing with all this hay and alfalfa they're growing is when it's harvested and baled, they set up truck convoys to take it all to the West Coast, put it on ships, and send it out back to their home country for feed for their cattle and their animals. Not one bit of it stays in this country and is sold here. It's all sent back home for them to use there. But meanwhile, the people in these towns that they're close to with these humongous farms that they've all bought, one company spent $47.5 million to buy one farm. And now the town closest to them has had to re-drill their well down to 450 feet to hit water so they could pump water for their citizens in their town, because this Arab Emirates company farm is taking all the water for their alfalfa fields so that they can take the alfalfa and ship it back home for their cattle. I don't have a problem, I really don't, with the United States feeding the world, because we can grow enough crops in this country to feed everybody in this country. We just need to do it instead of playing pissant games with it. And we can also feed a majority of the world with what we grow in this country. We throw away a lot of crops every year. We waste a lot that can be used. And the government pays for a lot of those crops to be destroyed and not put on market. And if you don't believe me, look it up. It's there. It's true. But anyways, yeah, they're killing small towns in this Midwest and Southwest, well, Midwest mainly, in Southern California. They're killing towns by draining all their water so that they can send feed crops back to their home country. That's why I say, watch who you vote for. See what they support. If they support this crap, which it is crap in my book, I'm sorry, it's crap, 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 and more crap. You're not going to kill towns in this country so that you can send the crop back to your home country. That's bullshit. Invest in desalination plants. The Middle East is surrounded on three sides by water. Invest in desalination plants and pump the shit out of the ocean. That way, all of our island countries in the peninsula of Florida won't go underwater when all the ice caps melt like they keep saying is going to happen. But, no, seriously, if the water's rising, desalination plants, pump that shit into the desert. Gross stuff. You guys remember a comic named Sam Kinison? He had a skit where he said that like he said, I've got no problem feeding all these people. For 40 years, we've been taking food to these people out in the middle of the desert. So, he said, my solution is, how about we take these vans out and pick these people up and all their shit and bring them to where the food is, because you're sitting on sand. You know what grows in sand? Sand. Nothing grows in sand. You know what this is going to be in 100 years? Sand. So instead of us having to waste money bringing you food every freaking week or every month, we're just going to take your ass to where the food is and save ourselves some money. Makes sense to me. Yes, it's a little bit of a political rant today, but it's something we need to watch out for. There's foreign companies in this country taking over farmland like crazy. And our heads up their ass politicians don't care because they're pocketing from it. They're killing American towns. To grow their crops to send back to their country. I've got an idea. Why don't you bring all your cattle over here, grow them here, slaughter them here, and ship the frozen meat back to your country, because it would be a lot easier than trying to ship bales of hay and alfalfa back to your country to ship frozen meat back, wouldn't it? And since it's going to your country, it doesn't need to be USDA stamped that there's only 2 boogers in this one so it can go through. Because I don't know if you guys know it or not. I'm just going to take a classic example. Peanut butter. Most people like peanut butter. Even the people that are allergic to peanuts and peanut butter like peanut butter. They just can't have it. But peanut butter has a USDA allowance of rat shit that's to be allowed to pass through the peanut butter to still be considered clean. They have a not recommended amount. I shouldn't say that they say, hey, yeah, throw the rat shit. No, they have an amount that's an allowance that they can have in the peanut butter when they make it. Doesn't have to be pure or 100% clean. Every time you have peanut butter, think about that. The USDA has said you can have X amount of rat shit in that peanut butter and it's still good. Think about it. And I love myself some peanut butter. My dog and I go through a jar every couple of days with peanut butter and crackers. And I know about it and I still eat the shit. I don't care. So yes, I'm eating rat shit. And I should have said this in the beginning. I apologize for the video yesterday. Alright. It was my LP Solomon's Oud shade. What I did is, because I had used Thomas Shelby's scent prior to that shade, I had taken a clip I found online that somebody took a 9-minute clip from Peaky Blinders of an interaction between Thomas Shelby and LP Solomon's. It was just those two talking. So I took 1 minute of that clip and put it in the beginning of my video, just because I had just used, like I said, the Thomas Shelby, and I was using the LP Solomon. I had the two characters in the same clip, and it was good. It was good. YouTube tagged me for copyright infringement. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know my 1 minute clip from somebody's 9-minute clip who had copied it from the show was an infringement. YouTube is one of those companies, which is what, Google now? They're owned by Google, that has their head so far up the ass that they can see their own tonsils. Don't ask me what their policies are. They don't even know what the hell their policies are. Their policies depend on what asshole's looking at what video on what day and how they feel. If they got up on the left side of the bed or the right side of the bed. Yeah, YouTube, I'm talking to you. Go ahead, pull me. I don't care. Because I bet your brick building isn't fireproof, because I do have a flamethrower. No, I'm not going to say that. I take that back. That was a joke. It wasn't, but it was. Did a good job. They always do. I get so tired of all the social media platforms are so biased against anybody anymore. And most of it is just to cover their ass so they don't get sued for allowing somebody to say something that might be controversial. And that's what it is they don't want to lose money. It wasn't what the person said was wrong. somebody could construe it as being wrong and could sue the company for letting them post it online. So they're just covering their ass. That's all that Twitter, that's all they did. Instagram, that's all they did. YouTube, that's all they do. They cover their ass. They pull stuff, they block stuff, whatever, so that they don't get sued for allowing it to go up because somebody got their little feelings hurt. Oh, I'm such a candy ass. I only got a participation trophy. Oh. Guys, our society, just reach over, hit the silver handle, and let it swirl right down the drain. It's done. There are so many candy asses out there running this place. It is, I don't even know what to say anymore. There's not enough belts to bust enough asses anymore. There isn't. Well, you know, because you can't have leather belts anymore because of the cows. Oh, we can't eat meat. I will be eating meat until the day I die. And I hope my last bite of meat's in front of a vegan. Anyways, because I'm just that way. You guys should know that about me now. I am a sarcastic son of a bitch. And I always will be. I was raised that way. Thanks, Mom. Anyways, head's doing good. I'm not even going to need this. I got nothing. You want me to do it? Okay, fine. I'll do it. But there's nothing up there. It's going to be cold and wet. That's all it is. It's cold and wet. I'm not even getting a ting or a tingle. This thing actually gave me pretty close and pretty good head shape without a ting or a tingle. Oh, but yeah, we've got to stop allowing our politicians to sell land in this country to foreign corporations so that they can grow crops for their shit back home and drying out our towns. Just actually taking the water right out of the ground and right out of the households of American towns. We've got to stop that. I'm going to use the witch hazel with a little bit of rose oil in it. Give it a shake. Yeah, rose and honey, what the hell. That is a damn clean shave, guys. It did a good job. It really did. Aqua Velva Musk. Give it a shake. And remember, that's a hole you can drive a semi through. And I still put too much in my hand. Alright, my Johnson & Johnson baby lotion that I always use in my dome. Or most of the time anyways. Just that much. I said balms go a long way, guys. You don't need a ton. Unless you like that heavy, greasy feeling on your head. Go ahead. Do what you want to do. Alright, and that will do it. And yes, I apologize for my straight razor shave. It went way too long. I'm sorry about that. I'm just not used to using a straight, and that will happen when you're not used to using a straight because you got to go slow and be careful. And I'm pushing my luck on this one. So with that, I will say, I don't know what I'm going to say. All right, I'm just going to say this. Done with the babbling fat guy in the camera. You're in the chair next. Happy shaves out there, guys.